These policies have narrowed curriculum, fostered test-based definition of education that has sucked the joy and often the purpose out of learning.
And we need to have a lot of other options that help while you're in high school, certainly after you leave high school, to give you the kinds of skills that you need to get jobs in the modern economy.
Career and Technical Education, or CTE, describes learning subjects like construction, health science, law, and more in hands-on settings. Eric Hanyashek argues that employment struggles stem from general cognitive ability, and that therefore schools should focus on core classes, not CTE. Similarly, David Leonhardt claims that offering CTE sacrifices the quality of general education. But not everyone agrees.
Oh, CTE courses are incredible. We know that any student that takes a career and technical education course, they are more likely to graduate on time. They are more likely to attend post-secondary education, whether it be trade school or a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree, and they are more likely to make a higher wage after high school.
But not all districts have equitable access to CTE.
So we currently have 7 CTE pathways available to students, and students can select the one they want when they come in as freshmen. I think the biggest advantage is letting the students have the actual experience. Without that actual experience, they have to speak in terms of, well, I saw, I read, I think I would. And so they're not able to speak from the experience of it. Being in a smaller district where we have less access to funds and resources, it's harder to get the materials. And so that puts them at a disadvantage when they're competing against people who have the actual experience.
Rural students are told to leave their farms to study textbooks and endure lectures, and yet students in rural areas have lived and enjoyed the most hands-on lives.
Because of their context in which they have lived up to the time they enter university, they are used to working with their hands. They're used to doing whatever's necessary on the farm, on the ranch, or in their rural communities, more so than urban students.
CTE brings hands-on paths into schools with opportunities for career certifications that provide a head start when students enter the workforce.
Our students have the possibility of having 2 certifications. So whereas they can maybe start at a very high-end restaurant because they're certified and they have these skills versus starting at maybe a fast food restaurant or a mid-service restaurant.
In a traditional classroom, they don't take apart a car or get certified in culinary arts. Yet the world needs those skills.
We partner with many different industries in the area, and they will tell you straight up front, we want your students. We had 2 hired out of a senior class last year, 3 that are being interviewed right now.
Clearly, CTE prepares students for the real world. Beyond that, CTE is one of our best ways to serve students that struggle in traditional programs and are at risk to drop out and make other harmful life choices.
Right up through 11th and 12th grade, all of the curriculum is focused on preparing you for more study. If you're somebody who's not likely to end up with a college degree, that's probably not the best use of 11th and 12th grade. So bringing technical education into high schools, connecting people with employers sooner, is one really powerful route.
For the last 5 years, I've worked with an organization that focuses on reentry as men and women come out of incarceration. And many of them share similar life stories that they didn't succeed in high school. They weren't really academically skilled, and so they didn't have the focus they needed for career or future employment. They want to have a different direction for their life, and so when they're offered opportunities behind the bars to develop some skills, then they're ready.
Staying in school decreases a student's chance of incarceration and increases lifetime earnings by $260,000. A 2009 study found that hands-on learning dramatically increases student engagement. Hands-on CTE classes keep students in school. In CTE, even students who struggle in core classes can find a career cluster they love and leave school with the confidence, experience, and skills to be successful.
One man was serving his sentence at a maximum security facility, but he became sort of their lead guy in solving electrical problems. When he got out, he was so capable that he was able to get a job with a company that owns 31 McDonald's and doing very well.
What CTE does for students is they want to come to school because they want to go to that CTE class. Those CTE programs, that's the future workforce.
If we can have strong programs for students at the right age, then they can, potentially make a very big difference in their life choices and the life direction.
In the entire U.S. budget of over $6 trillion, we must make room for students and prioritize career and technical education. Congress currently commits just a sliver of its budget to fund CTE programs. Our children and their futures are worth far more than that. Further, we all benefit when our schools create confident, skilled, and productive citizens. If we were congressmen, our first priority would be to increase access to career and technical education, because CTE opportunities are life-changing.